Hello everyone. Today we are here with Biplov World's webinars. Like we promised, we were going to get you something interesting, something that could be, something that could make you think about issues. So here we are with Let's Discuss. And today our topic for the evening is which is the right board for your child. I know a very difficult question, at the same time a very easy question. And that's exactly what our panel here is going to talk about today. We are going to discuss all the boards that their kids are in. We are going to discuss them as parents. We are going to discuss them as professionals. Let me start introducing all our lovely esteemed guests with us today. Okay. First and foremost, we have with us Mr. Abhishek Talwar, the founder of Biplov World, an author, a very hands-on father, and also someone who believes in a holistic learning for his children. He believes in nature, he believes in environment, and I'm sure there's going to be some very interesting pearls of wisdom coming from him today for us. Second, we have with us Ms. Palak Chaudhary, who's also a content creator. She is an educator. She also happens to be a mom whose son is in Oberoi International School, which is an IB board. Third, with us, we have Ms. Shruti Garodia. Shruti is the director at the Garodia School of Professional Studies, and she's a mom of children who study in Dhirubhai Ambani School. And with us, we have Tanya Khoopchandani Vatsa. Ms. Tanya is a very well-known content creator. She's also an author, a healthcare strategist, and a social media consultant, and a mom of two who study in Cathedral Convent School. Let me start with ICSE, our homebred board. Tanya, since your kids study in ICSE, could you throw us a little light on what education or what our everyday life is in what every day is for a student who studies in ICSE?
Yes, of course. So I have to start by saying everyday life has changed a lot in the last year. We can't overlook that. And Zoom school has been a challenge to adapt, and I'm sure that's something that's been felt across the boards. But in terms of ICSE, it's taken us a little bit to get used to the structure because so my son in Cathedral every couple of years is a different school. So he also went to through a transition from first grade to second grade this year. And suddenly the work and the dynamic has changed a lot. The teachers have changed. And I also have a child who's very reserved. So I've been dealing with that on its own, which is a separate challenge in addition to the board, because he was someone who was starting to come out of his shell, and then lockdown happened and it kind of set him back a lot. And then to see him coping with Zoom school and trying to get used to being online has been difficult in itself. But I have to say that what's been amazing is to see the teachers step up. I know that this is something that parents overlook because moms are complaining around the clock, but I think for teachers, it's been really hard to step up, get used to the technology, adapt to all the changes, and also get used to taking their classes online and trying to keep up with the efficiency of the students, which is not what it would be in a classroom. So we had a meeting, for example, with our headmistress last week about the workload and is it too much, is it the right amount? And so I feel schools are constantly taking feedback, which is great. But at the same time, parents are also giving a lot of feedback. I think they're trying to juggle between what can be managed and what cannot. And one of the things that came up in the meeting was that the efficiency of the students has changed while they're at home. So in terms of writing work, kids are no longer able to do or used to doing as much writing as they would be doing in a classroom. Parents are feeling burdened because all this writing work and all this work is falling on them to take care of whatever's not happening in school. But then at the same time, is it too much screen time? And there are a million questions coming up around that as well. So that's been a lot of adjustment. So I think the adjustment has been primarily more than the board. It's been the situation in the last year. But that being said, I'm a big believer in the ICSE board, having gone through it myself and having gone abroad, studied into Ivy League schools. I've seen how that's translated over time. And I just feel that in terms of basics and foundation, How strong that's been for me, that's something that I was sure I wanted for my kid.
So you think it was your personal journey that made you decide that ICSE would have been the right choice for a child in the long term of things?
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm going to shoot the same question. Palak, I'll come to you on this now. Since your child studies in international board, what is life like, firstly, for a child who a virtual life?
So, complementing to what Tanya said, firstly, yes, this whole spectrum of activities has changed. The whole ball game of education has changed because of the online structure. Now, when it comes to an IB board, the whole beauty and the whole essence of IB board is hands-on training. They provide the right infrastructure and the right environment to the kids to learn physically. So it's more of a
Right.
team thing happening, social interaction happening. But unfortunately, sadly, because of the classes being conducted online, the whole essence of IB is lost. Still, I must appreciate the teachers that they are giving their best shot and still trying to, along with keeping the IB curriculum and the framework in mind, they're still trying to impart education in the best possible manner. But the whole essence of IB is somewhere lost due to this online thing. And what I really like about IB is they are not academically focused. Academics are there, it is important, but there is a lot of emphasis on skill development, holistic development. So that is one thing that strongly comes out even in an online education environment. I see that coming where the teachers try to look at the children not only academically, but they try to evaluate the students from their different skills and their inclination towards music, art, physical education, etc. So I think, yes, although my child is still in SKG and he spent only 2 years in an IB environment, out of which 6 months were offline and 1.5 years has been online. Still, I do see that stark difference and I am very happy with an IB so far.
That's lovely. Shruti, coming to you, one with an opinion that your child shifted from ICSE onto IGCSE, and also you come from a background of education. You tell us firstly, why did your child make the transition? Was it your decision or was it your child's decision?
So again, complementing both what Tanya and Palak said, ICSE is, a good foundation. It gives you very strong roots, and theoretically, it is a fabulous board. But for a more holistic development, for a wider range of subjects, and to give them the opportunity to explore different, career options. Like my elder one says, I want to get into space design, space engineering, aerospace, which is so off the, we like from such a traditional business family, and suddenly he says that we are in a generation where we have the opportunity to let the children pursue their passions. So, for that reason, I felt, and like Palak said, that's more holistic development. So even though it's online, my younger one, he is in the 8th grade, a lot of times I do see that the kids are playing a video game while the teacher is teaching, and absolutely hats off to the teaching fraternity for the patience that they have, to keep telling the kids to put on their cameras, etc. Even then, I see a lot of times they're doing yoga, they're doing workout, they're doing some projects which they're sharing the screen and interacting. So I feel both have their pros and cons, but this was the reason why I thought I would take IGCSE, and my older one is again a little shy and reserved child. So I wanted him to develop public speaking skills and get that kind of exposure, which I thought probably would be better with this board.
Okay. Now, Abhishek, coming to you, you're someone whose kids, of course, they study in ICSE board. Both of
Yes.
them go to Jamnabai. But I also know that you're not someone who believes completely in the education systems in terms of, correct me if I'm wrong here, you are someone who likes to believe in the storytelling format or something which is more receptive, which makes a child more receptive and is more open to listening to you. You give us an idea of what is the thought process that you have behind inculcating kids in teaching kids to learn through storytelling? If I could sum this up.
So Nidhi, I'll react to this from a slightly more elliptical orbit, or from a different tangent. We've heard what Tanya and Shruti and Palak had to say, and there's a very strong element of truth which is coming from one's personal experience in the stuff that they've shared with us. And no matter which angle I look at it from, I can't disagree with what they're saying. But this is something that I've been giving a lot of thought over several years now, because like with our children, they're both very different. Our daughter is very strongly academically inclined. She's someone who thrives within a structure. Even the smallest of things, if there are very clearly set out rules, then that makes it easier for her to function. And so from that perspective, the ICSE board is brilliant for her. The pedagogy, the way it is approached by Jamnabai, is something that is outstanding for her, and that reflects in her grades. Our son is someone who is absolutely different from that. And right from senior KG onwards, we've had the pleasure of being summoned to the school within the first 6 weeks of the session starting, where teachers are like, he's not paying attention, he doesn't understand anything, he doesn't remember anything, he doesn't do what he's asked to be told. And after the initial shock, I realized that, the problem is not with the child, the problem is with you, with the way you are able or unable to convey what needs to be done. And that's been like an ongoing battle. With all due respect, the school has been absolutely brilliant about it. They've gone out of their way to make sure that the child comprehends. But what all of this brings us down to is the fact that I don't think it matters whether it's ICSE or IGSE or IB. What really matters is who is the person on the other side of the table that is delivering that learning or enabling that learning for the child. And that is what is very important. Okay, I like,
so,
for instance,
when we,
like Shruti mentioned, and it's absolutely awesome that your son says he wishes to get into aerospace engineering. And like you said, given the typical Indian milieu, this is probably not a choice of career that a lot of kids would aspire for. And that's also very far-fetched. A lot of us wouldn't even know about the existence of a career like this. But having said that, you will find that even at NASA, which is the premier
I was shocked when
aerospace
he said
organization.
that, by the way.
I beg your pardon?
I'm sorry, I said it was a shock to all of us when he said that. It's like, what are the career options post that? But anyway,
yeah, I can imagine. Exactly. That's the point I was getting at. But having said that, if you look at it, if you look at NASA, which is the or NASA, however it is pronounced, which is the premier space organization in the world, over 30% of the workforce, and I'm not talking about the grunts who are just pushing paper, but over 30% of the workforce which is actually making things happen are from India. And these are people who have been bred and groomed in our traditional education system. So
you are inclined towards the Indian education system?
Well, I am inclined to the Indian education system, but not in the way that it is traditionally understood. Because traditionally we understand it either as a Jesuit school or a Catholic school, where there is one fan rotating at the speed of 10 kilometers per hour in the center of the room, and people are learning by rote. That's not what I'm referring to, nor am I referring to what is happening in schools today. But I'm referring to how education was structured, typically from the Vedic period. If you look at it genetically, that is what is ingrained within us. People come with newfangled teaching methodologies, but as Indians, we will go back to our traditional way of getting things done, which means there are certain things you need to learn by rote and you need to learn by rote. For instance, your tables, right? There is no rocket science, or there is no shortcut secret for you to solve what is 19 multiplied by 17. Right. You've got to figure out your methodology, and eventually you will still need to know your tables at least up to 20. No matter which board you go to,
it's just how you teach it that makes a difference.
But the big question is, how do you teach that? And how do you make it interesting and engrossing for the child to grasp it? And
now that's where we come to between the two boards. If we talk about ICSE versus IB, Palak, you might agree with me. IB is also teaching the same thing to our children that the ICSE kids learn. But do you think there is lesser pressure on an IB child and a little more pressure on an ICSE child in terms of You have to write, you have to read, you have to do things a certain way. Anyone who thinks, I mean, I could be partial because I'm an IB mom too, but do you think, Palak, that there is a little less pressure on the children?
Absolutely, not little, but a lot more or less pressure. And continuing with what Abhishek said, so I agree with Abhishek that yes, tables are something that you have to at a point do mug up the tables and all, but the same thing can be done beautifully. So first you explain the logic of these tables to the child, and then for them to master the multiplications, you tell them to learn it by heart. So there is a lot of difference between the two. Whereas I mean, at least in my school, I was directly asked to mug up the tables. Whereas now, when my son is learning his math, he is explained the whole logic first, and then even why he's being asked to mug up the table is being told to him. It is being told to him that you cannot waste time doing these simple calculations every now and then. Hence, it is important, Shivan, that you start mugging up the tables. So I think this makes the whole battle a lot more easier, a lot more justifiable. Even if they're being asked to mug up something, it is backed by a very strong justification. Whereas
Right.
about the NASA, what Abhishek said, I totally agree with you. But I think my perspective towards looking at it is totally different. I think the Indian, the traditionally the people who are in NASA and that entire generation, it's not about the board. I think it is the rigor. We Indians have a tendency of grinding the children, not in a bad way, but when it comes to education, we prefer a lot of rigor and a lot of grinding. So a child that has gone through grinding and rigor at such early years is bound to be more hardworking as compared to a child coming from a country where grinding and rigorous education is not so much. So I think that sets us apart from the rest of the people hailing from other boards. So I think it's the rigor aspect, the kind of the strong importance on education and the rigorous training that we have been going through, be it SSC board, be it CBSE or be it ICSE. It's the rigor aspect and the whole, that overemphasis of parents on academics and education. We are all bred that way. So we somewhere today, our generation stands out as one of the most hardworking generations in the world. So I think that makes a difference.
Yeah. Tanya, would you like to chip in here? Because I agree with you at one point. When I went abroad for my studies, I thanked my stars that I came from an Indian board, because I was roughed out enough to understand the life that was ahead. When you said that you chose ICSE board so that you could give them a strong base further down, explain this a little more. When you went to college, why do you think you had a platform that helped you become what you are today? In what way?
So I'm going to answer that, but I also want to comment on one thing, which is I do feel that the board over time, or at least the way the teaching is conducted, is changing or is evolving a little bit, because like Rihanna is doing multiplication, my son, right now, and they've done the same thing. They've explained why he needs to know it. They've made them write the table, but instead of starting with making them mug it, they're doing sums where it's like today he said 11 sets of pencils, 10 each, how much is that? So they are actually explaining to them simple math and simple calculation and where this is actually application based and effective going forward. So I feel like that is somehow being communicated finally. I remember mugging up my tables in the car as a kid, and my mom would be like, okay, literally on the way to school, she would go over different numbers and we would just be spitting it out. So I do feel that's evolved. I have to comment on that positively. In terms of when I went abroad though, so I went to UPenn for my undergrad and I went to Columbia for my master's, and I just felt like I found subjects like math and calculus a lot easier than a lot of my American friends did. Like I remember my roommates struggling with it, and these were things that we'd already kind of done and looked at in spite of it, like in the 12th grade and the 11th grade we looked at. I remember I had a formula sheet that one of my professors had given me, my tuition teacher actually, in the 10th grade, to do like simple math, and I would read that at night religiously before I slept and go over everything. And even through my GMAT, that little booklet which was bound and tattered and torn in a million places, all I had to do was revise that overnight, and everything I needed to know was sort of in there. I remember using it when my husband was studying for his GMAT. years later as well, you know. So I just feel that base and that foundation was really strong, and it made like biology, for example, was something a lot of my counterparts struggled with, and I loved it. And so I just felt that some of the subjects came easier to me and some of them were a little bit more intuitive. Yes, when it came to application based stuff, that was a diversion from what I was used to, so that took some applying. But overall, I graduated with 3 majors because I realized in the end that I'd done enough extra classes to actually do Renaissance literature in addition to economics and psychology as well. So I do feel like I had a leg up a little bit at least.
Lovely. And I think a couple of things that you said actually are true. But like you said, we always boil down to the fact of that application learning. The pros and cons of both the boards here. There is a lot of application learning that happens in IB, but yet again, the basics go so strong in ICSE that maybe what is really missing in the IB board, can say. Now, coming to one another point, Shruti, I'll come to you on this, is the economic pressures. A lot of people do not pick up an IB board because of the kind of economic pressures that one has to face with IB. Having said that, I know there are ICSE schools also who are on the same bandwidth. But also, apart from economic pressures, there are also schools with IB where more than the board, it is the school that matters. For example, if you're an IB from Oberoi or from Ambani or from Podar, that has a different standing versus any school that suddenly, sprouts up and says we are an IB school. Do you see this as a problem? Have you observed this as a problem? Where IB board matters, yeah, it matters what school you are from rather than just the board. Yeah.
See, the reason why the IB board, it has very broad methodologies of teaching because it's all inquiry based. And
Right.
of course, now we have a lot of IB and CIE trained teachers. Initially, that wasn't the case, and a lot of these better schools were taking a lot of onus of training the teachers before they taught, and also employing a lot of international expat teachers for which they don't compromise on the teaching. So like Palak said, that they have to learn why multiply. So my son is in IB and he says ki I need to know the basics, and then the formulae I can derive it on my own. So it's not, they don't have to learn the formulae, they learn the derivations. So it's a more open-ended learning and teaching as well. So I mean, when I was having his math PTM, his tutor told me, Nimai has the most different way of doing things. So I'm like, oh, sir, that's like not that good. I mean, it's going to affect his grades. So he says, no, I appreciate that. And that is a fabulous way to, do it because he's applying, he's being creative. So the quality of tutors highly depends on, the teaching. And I think because of that, yeah, the school or whatever that is, graduating for heads, because these students are getting, more opportunities because of the caliber or the grind that they have gone through and the rigor. And these teachers have been able to take them through that grind. They are equipped. If a lot of times if somebody comes with, I used to go to my teacher, I've done ICSE and SSE, both the boards, and I used to go with a question and, which is not prescribed or which is not there in the textbook at that time. Of course, like Tanya said, the ICSE schools and the way of teaching is also changed broadly, and they've adapted a lot of international approach, thinking approach, but they never had an answer to my question. And I mean, there wasn't Google and whatever. So, we had to just accept whatever was there and whatever was taught. So that is not there, and the teachers have to have this varied knowledge. So hence the fee, yes, it is an economic stress factor on the parents because, each one feels, I mean, one is not understanding what is best for their child. Like Abhishek said, you have to go back and understand how your child is and what is the best curriculum, whether it's even maybe SSE if your child wants to pursue sports or something, or CBSE, if they want to do a medical or engineering, then they are more STEM based curriculum. So what your child is inclined towards, what is his liking, and I was clueless as a mother, so I thought this was the best for. Having said that, yes, parents are working harder to meet the fees, because as Palak said, we are all Indian parents who, and as per all our upbringing, children are the core. So we try our best.
Right.
Okay, we can, if nothing, let's give them education as our legacy. So we will work hard. Moms, dads, both would work. Unfortunately, sometimes it creates stress factors in the family when both are working and trying to make. So there are pros and cons to both. One has to create a balance. It does, I mean, in some areas, it create a stress factor for people who are unable to probably afford it and trying to
Yeah.
meet
Yeah.
that mark. But I think a lot of schools have the fees is justified because the training and the intensity which goes into getting these teachers equipped and getting these teachers to tutor a particular subject in the
But do
way
you
they
think the
do.
fees are justified? Do you think those fees are justified?
Yes, to a large extent, because I mean, I'm as a parent, paying that, and I understand now with the even during the COVID times, we've had he's in IB, so 11, and we've had all his lectures, all his subjects back to back, and the school has organized it so fabulously on Microsoft Teams. So getting again all these equipment, getting all these programs or whatever in place requires people and money. So I think, as I mean, even though it pinches me, but it's justified because I'm getting the quality or I'm getting that kind of education because my child enjoys it. He's
Right.
liking to learn. Like he said, my elder one, he is also an academically oriented child. So he is enjoying it. So I know that the school is not cutting down on tutoring, is or not cutting down on the quality of faculty. They're having a lot of expat teachers to give them, for Spanish, they have a Spanish teachers from Spain. So it's not only the language, they also know all about Spanish culture.
Culture.
So,
Right.
yeah, so
So
I
you
think,
think you are
there's a
getting the
lot.
work for your money? You do
Pardon?
think that it is justified? You think that the economic pressures on in
Yes.
IB are justified? Fair
No,
enough.
I think the economic pressure, if the parents are ready, I mean, prepared for it,
Absolutely.
then
Yes.
yes, yes.
But there's sometimes a question, even in the ones who are financially ready, feel, is it worth it? And that's exactly what I was trying to understand firsthand, that is it worth it? That kind of spending, is it worth it? Do we get that kind of a return from the kind of education that our children are getting? Is it at par with the kind of money that we are spending on the schools? Which you do think that we are getting, right?
So again, I said, like you said, ki it is, these schools are the better off or they're known. So it also
Right.
depends on the quality of teachers. So it's not a generic statement that, okay, it is
It's fair enough,
justified.
but in a personal frame of it, you definitely think that you're getting
Yes,
justice.
I am okay with the expenditure because for my children, because I know that they're getting that level or that quality of learning.
Education.
It's not only for IB, but it is because, like you said, it's an ex school which is able to
It's
give
an
them that kind
excellent.
of quality of teachers who are
Right.
able to give them. Like, for example, my son participated in an international space competition. He
Right.
needed some help from the teachers, over and
Yeah.
above this his physics teacher, math teacher. So the school didn't, he wrote a letter and the school didn't think twice. They put two teachers, tutors on the group to guide the students. So,
Right.
had I gone to search for ISRO scientist or somebody to help them or to, guide them, it would have definitely been an added cost. And of course, a
Right.
lot of, so these are the kind of things that, the school is ready or is very, very
Taking care of.
willing to,
Yeah.
so if my child is getting the benefit, then I feel it is justified. Having said that, in the initial years, maybe an ICSE curriculum works better because theoretically, you're getting a base, and
Right.
you're not spending that much. So then, like they have like till 7th, it's ICSE and then it's IGCSE and then it's IB. So it's absolutely justifying the cost factor there, because maybe initially it may not help so much, but in the later years, it has worked really well for us personally.
Abhishek, I'll come to you on one point that Shruti said was the performing factor, where she mentioned that the school somewhere would tweak if the child needed something particular or needed a certain way of teaching. Do you think ICSE does the same? Does it tweak itself because the child demands it or needs it?
So there's a couple of factors over here, Nidhi. I'll give you a personal example for all of us, and probably that will answer your question to a large extent. So I think from grade 4 to grade 7, I studied in a board which is known as SSLC, which is the local board of Karnataka. This was a government-aided school somewhere in Bangalore. Okay, and one of the panelists, I think Palak, mentioned about how in IB school they're taught how tables are derived and why it is important to learn tables, and that's probably something not done in ICSE boards or CBSE boards. So I'm talking about something which happened maybe 30 odd years back in a government-aided school in Bangalore, where I still remember the teacher's name is he was Mr. Lakshmi Narasimhan. He took the trouble of sitting and actually explaining to us why a plus b whole square is equal to a square plus ab or plus 2ab plus b square. How do you derive that? So it's got nothing to do with the board. It's got nothing to do with what a certain pedagogy is mandating. It is to do with the passion of that teacher. Okay, let's cut to grade 8, 9 and 10. I actually studied in a municipal school at Andheri Station, St. Madhava Samarse High School. I remember 8 rupees saal ki fees hoti thi in class 8, 9 rupees in class 9 and 10 rupees in class 10. And there was this one teacher who used to, she was a social studies and English teacher. And she would actually take the trouble, because I remember once she sought me out and she was like, there is an elocution competition happening at some school. I don't remember which one. And she said, I want you to prepare and go there and represent the school. Now, for God's sake, this is a municipal school. Those half the times the teachers wouldn't show up. But here was this one lady who was so passionate about it. And she's like, I'll give you the bus fare. I'll get the school to reimburse it. Are you okay traveling by bus and doing this? So that is what makes a difference. And which is what I'm trying to make as a point here. It doesn't matter what your board is. It's irrelevant. What stops an ICSE board teacher from explaining to a child what needs to be done? Absolutely nothing.
Right.
Nothing stops them. As
Very
far
well
as
said,
education is concerned today, look, let's face it. It's a business. Okay, it started off as a social need. Today, very, very clearly, it's a business. Is it justifiable to pay the kind of fee which an IB school demands? Of course, it's justifiable. Is it justifiable to pay 20,000 rupees to stay at a JW Marriott? Of course, it's justifiable. You will still get a same size room with an air conditioner and a bed and a duet and room service at a hotel, which is probably a third of that price. So it's really a question as a consumer, what level of service you wish to consume.
Right.
The fees has nothing to do with it. Like personally, Ritika and I have not put a lot of people have told us you should put your son in the IB curriculum because aptitudinally he probably will thrive in that environment. They're probably right in what they're saying. I wouldn't know. The fact of the matter remains that I can't get myself to spend 8 lakhs or 10 lakh rupees a year just on academic fees to send this kid to school. And that doesn't mean that we're scrounging on the money. I just don't see the value in it.
Yeah, it's just what you believe in.
Absolutely, but that is not to say that there is no value. Of course, there is value. There is tremendous value in it. So, but that's a very personal call that one needs to take. As far as the grind is concerned, Palak, you were reacting to how because there was a certain generation of people having had to go through the grind, and that is why they probably excelled at NASA or whichever other organization one speaks at. I'm sure that has a lot to do with it, but there are various other factors to it also. Nothing stronger than the fact that for a very long time, we were a country that was lost somewhere between socialistic and communalistic way of society and economy that essentially strangulated free enterprise. So a lot of people had no choice but to migrate. People from West Bengal migrated to the rest of the country, and people from the rest of the country simply migrated out of the country. So there were a lot of other factors also
There are other factors too.
that were at play over here. Looking at ICSE with our own son Aditya, there are a lot of teachers that I've come across who actually try and explain the whys of the house also to them. And they're not from an IB board, they're from a regular ICSE board. And as far as academic excellence is concerned, Jamnabai is a school which is, this is being recorded and it's going to be aired, so I can't think of the appropriate non-parliamentary word, but they're very strongly committed to it, and they're not very they don't take very kindly to kids who are not very strongly academically inclined. But having said that, they're still accommodating him in more ways.
But is that an ICSE thing or is that a school thing?
I think that's a school thing.
Tanya, you could add to that. Is that an ICSE thing or is that a school thing?
So our school makes that effort as well. And like Abhishek said, I've been told many times that maybe my son is someone who would do better in another board, but I see the school making an effort to go that extra mile with him because he needs it.
But do they do well if the child is not getting academically as inclined as they want him to get inclined?
So my daughter is very inclined. My son isn't. But then, so the teachers actually are meeting with him twice a week and actually hand-holding him, going over concepts and stuff. And so now he's pretty much at the class level. And with him, I know he gets it. But because he's shy, something that the teacher's not able to get.
But what I mean is, Tanya, do they change their pattern? Like, for example, in IB, if, correct me if I'm wrong, Palak, if my child is not ready to understand maths with writing, they will use Lego blocks to try and explain him the same thing. Does ICSE also do something like that? Do they try to mold their patterns only so that the child would understand better?
I have seen that happen, especially in the last year and with my son, but I don't see it happen in a classroom format. So I feel they take him one-on-one, they'll do that with him, they'll use clay, they'll use other things. But with the Zoom live, I've not seen that happen in a classroom format. I do see them taking him aside and doing extra classes with him, doing meetings with him, talking to him, going over concepts. So that's definitely something that the school is doing.
Sorry, Nidhi, can I just interject here?
Yes, Abhishek.
Sorry, sorry for speaking out of turn, but before I forget.
No, I actually butted in. Yeah.
So there's one other important aspect, and again, sharing from personal experience. What I found is, to a very large extent, we as parents are responsible for the way schools also react with the kids. See, where
you think so?
So like a school is a service provider. Let's look at it from a pure business perspective. You expect that you should get bang for your buck, which means if I'm paying a fee and sending my child there, boss, he or she better be performing as well, or at least somewhere in the top 5 percentile of the class.
Yeah.
And you can imagine, 40 kids in a class, all 40 parents want their child to be in the top 5 percentile. Someone has to be there in the bottom 95 percentile, right? And that's the same reaction that I got from the school, because even when we'd go and meet up with the teachers initially, they were very defensive in terms of our son's performance or the lack of it, and their defense being that they were like, hey, as a parent, you will expect your child to get 90% plus, and we're trying, but he's not cooperating. Till I told them, I don't care what percentage he gets. I don't care what marks he gets. What is important is that he enjoys the process of learning.
What he does. Yeah.
And I've gone to the extent, much to my wife's angst, to even tell the school, you want to hold him back in a class, hold him back. It doesn't matter. It's not the end of the world. What's more important is that the kid enjoys learning what you're trying to teach him.
Right. Do you think that these, I wouldn't want to call it pressures, do you think these aspects of how good a child is performing exists in IB, or do you think that it doesn't? It doesn't matter if my child is not done well this year.
From what I understand, see, our kids are too young and they are still at their stage level. From what I understand about the whole functioning of IB, that yes, the competitiveness is less. They in fact encourage students to compete with themselves in respect to what they performed in the previous semester. They should do better. They should outdo themselves. And there is no internal competition. There is no grading as such. There is no ranking. There are no percentages. So yes, I think these kind of
You
pressure.
take that as a plus or a minus? Do you take that as a plus or a
Big
minus?
plus.
That
It's
there
a
is no grading.
absolutely
Yeah.
a big plus. I know there is a set of people who call this also as a big drawback of IB, where they say that the children are less vigorous and they do not inculcate healthy competition among the kids. But that is your own way of looking at things.
Right.
And Abhishek rightly pointed out, it is about the teacher. We are at the end of the day at the mercy of the teacher. So we can have a good teacher in a government school, and we can have a good teacher in the IB school also. So
Right.
it all boils down to how the teacher is.
But you don't think it boils down to an approach? You don't think it boils down to an approach? Shruti,
course,
maybe you could add. Yeah, sorry, go on, Palak.
No, yeah.
I was just saying that Shruti and Abhishek and Tanya, maybe your children are in the same age group. Do you see your child under pressures as well? Performance pressures, on there are none? I'm just
Of
trying to
course,
narrow this down here for all those who are watching this, when they try to understand. And I know this is a big concern in parents in general, that is my child going to be under pressure in ICSE that will not be there in IB? Do you see pressures on your child as well?
Nidhi, in one sentence, the pressure comes from home. And if
Fair
as a
enough. That is
parent,
true
yeah,
as well.
as a parent, you are very clear about what pressure and what amount of pressure and what direction it has to be, the school will
You don't think
happily
school
do
has
it.
a role to play in that, Abhishek?
Of course, the school has a role to play in that, but you have a far
But it's
bigger
how
role
we
as a
react to
parent.
it.
No, as a
Yeah.
parent, we have a far larger role to play in.
Right.
The school has a minuscule role to play in that.
Absolutely well said. I remember my school's professor, the dean, once telling us that we are just 30% and you're 70%. So your child will be 70% of what you are, not the 30% of us, which is the honest fact. But Shruti, would you like to add to this? Does your child, you and Abhishek have kids in the same age group, and he's an ICSE parent. Does your child also go through pressures of performance pressures from the school, not from you, from the school?
So IBDP as a board is very intense. It's not
Yeah.
easy. There's a lot of work that the child needs to do. Plus, there are additional things that they have a lot of essay writing. They have a lot of things added over and above the subject. So it's not only the subject. It's not only math, science, economics, whatever XYZ that they're
Right.
studying. It's over and above that they're required to perform. They have their extended essays, the TOKs, and all those things, the CAS activities. So I can't say that there is no pressure, but of course it's something that he is enjoying. He's chosen the subject that he's liking to learn, so he
Yeah.
himself tries to put in that extra effort. And
Right.
we all agreed, on that fact that a teacher is what makes a huge difference in developing an interest of a child. A child a particular year will love bio, but next year will not like bio so much, will like chemistry. Or I mean, that's happened to my children as well because of an ex-teacher. So it's his interest has been there, and there is a lot of work that he needs to do. He's sometimes working, even though it's online, right now working 10 hours a day because he wants to compete at that level, and that's coming from within. It's also the atmosphere. It's neither the parent nor the school, it's also the atmosphere. Everybody is so career minded, all his peers, and which I find is good because they're focused at a very young age. They're not whiling away their time seeing Netflix. I wouldn't say the same thing about my younger one, but they're focused in doing things which are more productive. Anyway, there is not much happening. So,
Right.
and he's not the kind to be pushed into, because he wanted to pursue some sporting activity last 2 years and he did that, and his grades were okay, they were not fabulous, and he was not stressed about it. But now it's because of the interest that he has in the subject, but there's a lot of work. I wouldn't say it's pressure free at all. And ICSE kid, in fact, I feel ICSE kids have have a boundary of study.
Right.
They have particular X books that they solve or they learn from. Here, they could be any question which could be asked out of the book, and they have to apply to get the right answer. So there is in fact a lot of pressure and a lot more, I would say, though of course I do not know about ICSE, but for IB, I know he's having to put in a lot of working hours. to get the work done.
So I think one thing is for sure, it's only a myth that IB is anyway less stressful on a child than it is on anybody else. Sorry, I'll just
Maybe
rephrase that.
initially PYP,
Yeah,
MYP,
PYP, yeah, absolutely.
yeah, but IBTP is an absolutely, intense and very invigorating program.
So I actually think my son is younger. He's 7, but we definitely feel the pressure. And most of the time, it's justified. Sometimes I feel like it's on things that are archaic, like your handwriting has to be a certain way or a certain size. And I understand that handwriting is related to a lot of things, but that'll come from the school where he's done an assignment, his answers are right, and he has to rewrite it so that his form is perfect. And those are the things that I don't stress about. But
Yeah.
now I made to, because I'll be like, okay, Gian, I know the teacher is going to catch this, and the whole assignment will have to be redone. So just quickly change this letter and change this letter, fix this
Right.
spelling before we send it in. So there's
Yeah.
definitely the pressures on certain things from the school that some of it, most of it is justified. Some of it, I don't get it as a parent, but I'm sure there's a logic behind it as well.
So, Tanya, since I'm on you, give me one closing statement on one thing that is a plus for you with ICSE and one thing that is a down for ICSE.
Okay, so I think my down we pretty much just covered. It's being stuck on certain methodologies that have been come from the past and may not have as much relevance. I feel today kids type a lot more than, or at least we type a lot more than we write. So
Right.
I feel like writing in a few things, the importance of it is lost on me. But I would say a big advantage is seeing the way ICSE is adapting and the solid base that it gives you going ahead in the future.
Very true. Great. Thank you so much for that, Tanya. Palak, same question to you.
So I
Plus
have-
and minus of IB.
Yeah, before that, I had something to add to the pressure that you were talking about.
Yes.
So I personally feel that be it any grade, eventually when you climb up the ladder to the higher grade, there will be
Yeah.
pressure. But the main culprit behind the pressure in today's time, I personally feel, is the board transition. Now that is one aspect that none of us
The board
discussed.
transition.
Yes, because
Yeah.
I have seen a lot of kids chicken out in this board transition. Now, see, if you're
Okay.
from IB, you are, your approach from the beginning is different. And when you are proceeding in IB format only, the pressure is way less. You know what is
Right.
expected of you. You are trained to doing research. You know how to solve application-based questions. But when you're jumping from an ICSE to an IG, then to an IB, it is
That
very,
makes a difference
not
for the child.
all kids are able to cope up with it. So that is
Yeah.
one thing that I think parents need to think about. We want to give our child the best. I know everyone, even I was of the perspective of first giving him an ICSE base and then transitioning him to IB. But I realized
Yeah.
this whole process of the transition can get heavy on kids. So I think
Yeah.
it makes sense that if you're happy
That's
with
a very important point you pointed there. Because a lot of people think यार अभी ICSE में डाल देते हैं बाद में shift कर देंगे. It does not really work for the child because he's under
Yeah.
crisis.
Yeah, I'm not saying none of the kids can cope up. I'm sure there are kids who can cope up, but it's not
Yeah,
something.
but it's just not fair to put it through them, right?
Absolutely. It's a drastic
Yeah.
change in environment. So that is one thing
Yeah.
that we should. And if you're happy with ICSE, then just stick to it till the end. I don't
Yeah.
think transition should happen more often.
Should happen. True.
Yeah. Coming back to your question of
Yes,
the
please.
positives of IB, yes, I'm a big IB fan. In fact, recently I got myself trained as an IB educator also from the University of Cambridge. So after understanding the educator's perspective, I'm more in love with IB because I see how they train us teachers to have a student-centric approach. I see how they focus so much on how much importance we should give to each and every student. When also you were talking about the fees, I don't know if the fees are justified or no, but I would just look at the ratio that in an ICSE we have 2 teachers for 48 students, whereas in an IB we have 2 teachers for 15 students. So that speaks for it. So yes, the student-centric approach is great in IB. Every student is personally taken care of. So that is one very, very strong positive of an IB, and the pressures are less, especially in the early years. I feel I think they should not be subject to too much academic endeavors. It is their time to bloom. It is their time to, I think their social, emotional, and spiritual aspects of a child should be nurtured at that age. So yes, in an early years environment, I think IB is working out fabulous for my son. And about the ICSE, so it's a fabulous board, of course, tried, tested, proven by generations. But I think the rote learning aspect and the too much importance on ACADS is something that becomes the biggest drawback of an ICSE curriculum. But schools like Cathedral and Jamnabai are really, and Ambani are really, really taking care of that. So I think again it boils down to the school also.
Boils down to
Many
the
schools
educator.
are taking
Yeah.
care of the loops of the downfall of their board, and they're trying to bring the best of all the worlds for their students.
Yeah.
So I think we should be wise in choosing the
The
right.
one thing we all have understood from today is clearly it's always the educator that matters rather than
Absolutely.
the board choice.
Yeah, we are
Yeah.
at the mercy of the educator. 100%.
Yeah. Shruti, would you like to give me a plus and minus of IGCSE? Up and down.
Yeah, so like Tanya mentioned in writing, now my son hates to write, and you know his writing is illegible. He's in IBDP levels, and his handwriting is illegible. And I mean that is, I feel some skill, because when I talk to even professionals, writing is something as a skill that one has to and must possess, which I don't think one can do away with at all at any board or anything. But it is the children, it is not again the tutors. They don't want to write because everything is on the computer, laptops, and more so now because everything is online. So that I find, I mean, a huge drawback, because there is no
Right.
insistence. And like Palak said, they're okay, even if it's a scrolling note or whatever, and it's yet the teacher can understand, they will not emphasize and they will not push you beyond a point. The early years are very easy going in that sense.
Right.
But
And what are the down? What, according to you, the
and
down?
this is the downfall, the low
Yeah.
point of international curriculum. Yeah, IGCSE or IB. But
Right.
I find the holistic approach, the approach to inquire, to think, to question everything that you're learning and doing, fabulous, because that is helping them not only, the questions that they pose us also, we are sometimes not able to answer because we ourselves have never questioned ourselves on that, or never raised these questions to our elders or parents or the country or around. So that I think is fabulous, which is something which I mean, unless it's a style of thinking, it's a way of developing the right side and the left side of the brain, like you say, because usually in ICSE it's more rational, and so here you have a more holistic development, like they say, into the inquiry creative format. So
Right.
hence why did the
Abhishek,
child
would you like to add to this? The downs and the plus of ICSE. Tanya did give one set of it. We would love to hear it from you too.
So Nidhi, I'm largely ambivalent to it. I mean, if you ask me honestly, I'm disenchanted with pretty much all education systems. I think everyone has their own axe to grind. Anything which is going to be result oriented and not learning oriented is going to be a problem, and they're all result oriented eventually at the end of the day. I have a lot of friends. I mean, I'm probably older than all of us over here. Not that we're talking about age, but by default, then my friends have kids who are far older, in grade 8 and 9 and 10 and IB schools, and they come back and say that the pressure is tremendous, and these are IB school kids.
Yeah.
Okay, if you ask me, the simple, I think we all need to take a step back and understand one thing very clearly. Children by nature are curious. There's a phrase, the joy of learning. If you're going to take the joy out of learning, it doesn't matter which board it is, which board your child is in. And if you can manage to retain the joy in learning, it still doesn't matter which board your child is in.
That is actually so well said, because Abhishek, according to you, it does boil down to the parent, right?
It boils down to the
Bottom line.
parent, and it boils down to the teacher. Because as parents, there's only, as time goes by, I mean, there are so many times where I've very, very seriously flirted with the idea of just taking my kid out of school and say, let me just homeschool him. But then there are challenges on time, on my own time, how much time my wife and I can give to him, and so we persist with the school, because unfortunately we are a part of the same social and systemic framework, and we need to exist within. and we just try to
Exactly.
make do the best that we can with it. So are there pros and cons? Of course there are pros and cons with every system, and I think it's it's probably lazy on my part, or it's probably frustration on my part to not want to specifically say that this is great and this is not so great about it, because I think once you transcend all that, there's only one thing that remains. If, as parents and as teachers, irrespective of which board the teacher is delivering the pedagogy from, if we can manage to retain the joy of learning, the joy of questioning and imbibing knowledge, then we're in a good place. And at the end of the day, that's the only thing
Very
that
well.
matters.
That is amazing. That is very well said. Okay, I think this has been very, very insightful, a great discussion. I'm sure a lot of parents and mums and dads could benefit out of hearing this when it does go live. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, Palak. Thank you, Shruti, for joining Viplog World.